What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. This morning we did a video on all the yellow cards that were released, all the Saiyans, the awesome Bardock and Goku lineage stuff. And now that we finally had time to sit down and look at the rest of the stuff that was spoiled, where we dug into it, we tore it apart, we took frame by frame, tried to get the best images we could for all the cards, and unfortunately, since they blanked out all the names, all the powers, all the energy cost numbers. We can't really tell a whole lot about these cards, but we can at least show you guys what we've got. And so far, from what I've seen online, we found some things that nobody else has found. Let's dig into it. First up, we got the yellow leader for the starter deck, Golden Great Ape Son Goku. He's got the generic, when this card attacks the leader, draw one card, and he switches 2 energy to active mode when he awakens. When he awakens, he becomes Long Odd Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. Kind of a weird name. When this card attacks, draw a card. And then his permanent says, when your life is less than or equal to your opponent's life, this card gains 5,000 power and critical. Which is pretty cool. He gains critical, but he doesn't gain it for any ridiculous reasons. You have to be on the losing end for him to gain that power boost and to gain that crit damage. So you can't just aggro your opponent and then hope to keep that ability, which I think is really cool. It kind of forces you to be a little more strategic about the way you beat your opponent down. And then you'll notice he also has the Goku's lineage ability, and he is Son Goku GT, so you're going to have to keep that in mind with some of your deck building abilities. The first card in the deck is Power Charge Bardock. He's a 3-cost 15,000 power, and he's essentially the BCC Gohan that we got about 2 months ago. Auto says, when this card attacks, you may draw one card. If you did not draw a card with this skill, it gains double strike. Which is really cool because it gives yellow a bit more draw power, which yellow doesn't really have a super lot of, outside of running specific things like the Universe 7 Frieza leader or whatever. And I like just seeing more Bardock stuff that we can play with the Great Ape and with just Saiyans in general. Next up, we've got Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku at the Apex. He's a 5-cost, 25,000 power with swap 8 for 4 yellow. And once per turn, you can choose one card from your life and add it to your hand. Switch this card to active mode, and if you have 2 or less life, it gains triple strike. So you're going to use it to switch to active, swing for that triple strike, and then swap it out for the 8-drop Goku that we're getting in the yellow. Then we have an exact copy of that card in Reborn Might Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. He's also a 5-cost, 25,000 power with swap 8 for 4 yellow. And his same activate main, choose a card in your life and add it to your hand, switch this card to active, and if you have 2 or less, he gains triple strike. I'm not really sure why why make 2 different ones, aside from that one is Son Goku and one is Son Goku GT. That's really the only thing I can think of, maybe to give a little bit of variety, to try and do like a GT Goku deck or a regular Goku. Then we've got Ultimate Potential Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 power with swap 4 for 2 yellow. And when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards and KO it. So he's kind of like the Explosive Spirit Son Goku we got in Set 3, in that when he comes into play, he KOs a rest mode card, except he doesn't have any energy requirement to what he can KO. The only downside is he also doesn't have barrier and he's not a blocker. So each one has its own benefits. Take them however you will. I still think the Goku's a little bit better, unless you're playing really aggressively, than probably the Gohan. Here we have the super rares for the yellow set, and like I was saying earlier, one of them was, in fact, a Bardock super rare. I am so happy for that. The art on this card is phenomenal. And best of all, like I've been saying since Set 3, I bet we were going to get a lower cost Bardock so that we could evolve the Great Ape Bardock onto it. And we got not only one, but we got 2. We got this 1-drop, and then we got the 3-drop that comes in the starter deck. Honestly, I'm super hyped for those. We've also got this 8-drop Height of Mastery Son Goku. No idea what his power level is, but he's going to be ridiculously insane, I'm sure, just like the other Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. And it'll go in perfectly with the starter deck, Goku's lineage cards. Then here we've got the super rares for the green Namekians that we did the video on last week. It doesn't show us what the names are, but I am betting that that is a Piccolo Jr. card, probably, so you can play it with the King Piccolo card. And then, of course, one of them had to be Slug, the other main archetype in the color set. I'm really interested to see what both of them do, especially since the King Piccolo put so much emphasis on Piccolo Jr. Next up, we've got some spoilers for the red set. We've got Extra Strike Super Saiyan Son Goten. He's a red 4-cost. No idea what he does, but the art looks really good. Then we've got Triple Flash Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. Again, the art looks phenomenal. That's probably going to be one of the super rares, more than likely. The other super rare is going to be that Apostle Grudge Great Ape Baby. And he's going to be a 6-cost. He might even be an EX Evolve to go along with the archetype that they were following with the Overrealm set. And then we have Saiyan Strength Baby. He's a 4-cost red. And we have Baby Vengeance Unleashed, which is a 1-cost. And honestly, I think that those cards are going to go perfect with the Machine Mutant stuff we had, as well as maybe the Baby promo from Set 3, and possibly even the Baby Extra card as well. Here we have a few more images for the red cards. Up in the top left, we have the Baby Leader. That's probably the front side, while over here on the right is the Awakened side. We've got what looks like an extra card with Trunks and Vegeta, with Baby kind of sticking out of his face. And then that looks like, in the middle, that looks like the 4-cost that we just looked at on the other side. Here we've got a few more red cards. At the top left, it looks like we've got a red Gohan, possibly under the control of Baby. Right underneath him, we've got a Super Saiyan Red Vegeta, maybe under the control of Baby, hard to tell. On the bottom, behind the two, you can't really see it, but that looks like another Baby card. That looks like Baby's gloves at the very bottom of the picture. Here we have another red Goten card. This definitely looks like it's going to be Goten, not under the control of Baby. And then lastly, we have another red GT Pan. She looks like she'll probably be the one-drop vanilla that rarely anybody is going to use. Now, all of this new GT stuff, keep in mind, yes, it gives you all this stuff for the Baby archetype to run with all the Super Saiyan 4 Goku stuff, but it also gives you more targets for the Grand Tour Spaceship card, which is still probably one of the best cards in the GT lineup, in my opinion. So you can combine these with the old cards that we already have. Now we're going to take a look at the blue stuff, and I am super excited for blue, and not exactly for the reason most people are. Most people are excited for the Tapion and the Hirudegarn stuff we're getting, which is great, but I'm looking forward to something a little different. On the left here we have Oath's Power Trunks. He's a 4-cost blue card. Hopefully he does something cool, because I do kind of like Kid Trunks. He's got an attitude sometimes, but I do like Trunks as a whole. And then we have a 6-cost in Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Not sure if that's going to be the super rare or not. It doesn't look like it is. It doesn't look like it has the gold foiling, and it doesn't have the same reveal date as Colossal Malice Hirudegarn, which is a 9-cost 6 blue specified energy. I don't think we have any cards that have higher than a 5 specified energy, but that's definitely going to be one of the super rares for blue. And then we have Hidden Darkness Tapion. He's going to be a 2-cost. And Hirudegarn the Wanderer, which looks like maybe you have to have 2 different pieces to the Hirudegarn to get them both out to be able to play. Kind of like the idea of the Union Patara, except it would be a different fusion type of mechanic. Here we've got what looks like the Hirudegarn leader up on the top left. It looks like there's a card on the bottom that might possibly be the front side of the leader by the looks of it. We've got another Tapion card here behind the word Legendary. There's the full image of the super rare up there in the top middle. Another Hirudegarn in the top right, and then a better image of the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Fist. Now, a few things I noticed that nobody else seemed to pick up on, or at least nobody has mentioned it. On the left, we seem to have a Kid Trunks or Tapion, or a combination of the two leader, which is going to be super cool to have like a Kid Trunks leader or Tapion. Either one would be really dope to have. We've got this Gohan here in the middle, which honestly, I don't know why, but the Great Saiyaman outfit just looks so good on Gohan. Not the helmet and the cape and all that, but just like the green kind of tunic with the black shirt and the black pants underneath it. It just looks really fucking cool, and that's always been one of my favorite styles that Gohan has had, and that card just looks phenomenal, and I really hope that it is a good card, because I definitely want to play that in blue. Speaking of Great Saiyaman, here is Great Saiyawoman. Yes, that's right. We're going to be getting Great Saiyaman cards. Nobody has caught this, or nobody has said anything about it, and I've been keeping up. I've seen a lot of online shit about this set. Nothing about this or the potential for a Great Saiyaman. That would be super awesome to see. I particularly didn't really have any issues with Great Saiyaman like a lot of people did. I thought it was kind of amusing here and there, but it wasn't overplayed, so it really didn't get in the way of the story, and it wasn't on the level of it being annoying. So it'll be really cool to see if we have a Great Saiyaman and the Great Saiyawoman, and how well they interact with each other. Here we have Raging Energy Blast Gotenks. He's a 5 cost, 25,000. It looks like he has critical. However, he does not appear to have a Union Fusion ability. So it looks like you're going to have to play him just outright as its own individual battle card. It's a little hard to tell what the Activate main says. It does not appear to be once per turn, but I could be wrong. It is still really hard to see from this angle. Then here we have one of the other blue super rares, At All Costs Vegeta. I'm not sure why he isn't on the front reveal image like the Hirudegarn is. Not sure what he could really do as a 4 cost, why he's so low for a super rare, although I can't really say anything about it since I am excited for the 1-drop super rare. But the art looks pretty dope. He has what looks like a once per turn ability, but it's kind of hard to tell because, you know, Goku's fat ass is in the way. Here we have another image of that Hirudegarn card and a GT Bulma. I'm sure she'll probably have a GT Bulma tag, so she won't be regular Bulma. You won't be able to search her with anything. But it's probably got to be a 1 cost. I don't see any way that we're going to get a Bulma besides the ones that we got from the yellow set that's higher than a 1, maybe a 2, if that. Here we've got another red baby card. I have no idea why this is mixed in with the blue stuff, but there you go for all you baby fans. Next, we're going to take a look at the black set. We have Time's Choice, Supreme Kai of Time. She's a 3 cost. No idea what her power is. We have a few Supreme Kai of Time cards already, but they don't really do a whole lot outside of the super combo, so maybe this one will be somewhat useful. We have Burst Energy, Super Saiyan Bardock. Obviously, since he's black, he's going to be Xeno Bardock. Hopefully, he'll have a better ability. That way we have a better target to evolve into for the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock instead of the kind of garbagey Double Strike one we have now. And then we have Temporal Darkness, Demigra. He's going to be one of the super rares, as well as Mira, Creator Absorbed, who, for whatever reason, went like Super Saiyan 5 or 6 or something. He's going to be our other super rare. And then lastly, we have Dimensional Banisher Fu. He's going to be a 5 cost. I don't know how many of these are going to be Overrealm cards, and how many are just going to be black cards. It's kind of hard to tell since they said they weren't going to give us a shit ton of Overrealm support. So I can see a lot of them being black, just play them, like regular cards, kind of like some of the ones that we got in the starter deck. Here we've got more of the black cards on the right. It looks like the Demigra Leader, probably the front side. Up above it, there's it looks like a battle card with both Mira and Toei on it. And then one in the middle that has Demigra and one other character I don't recognize. That looks like it's going to be an extra card. Although it does seem to have the little area on the side for a combo power. So it may be a battle card after all. Here we've got another black Toei card. Looks like it'll probably be a lower cost card, just based on the art alone though. Here we've got another Xeno Trunks. The art looks pretty dope. Hopefully he'll be a better Trunks than some of the ones we have. I would love to have more good Trunks targets for Killer Sword Trunks. I do like the card, and I am obsessed with it enough that I will try and continue to make it work as the game progresses. Here we have a Super Saiyan version of Xeno Trunks. Kind of wondering if he'll be an EX Evolve, kind of like the Killer Sword Trunks was, if he'll be a regular Evolve, or if he'll even be an Evolve at all, and he'll just be like an Overrealm or a Hardcast. Here we have what looks to be a Demigra extra card, but it's kind of hard to tell because everything else is in front of it. Here we have a bigger image of one of the Mira battle cards. Here we have a few more black cards. The bottom right looks like it's the Awakened side of the Demigra leader card. There's another card there on the left. It's really hard to tell what it is. Looks like there's another Demigra card at the top, and then we've got another Mira Another Toei here over on the top right. Looks a little different than the Toei we've been seeing before. I don't know if it's just the angle that the card's at, or if potentially she has like a different art style or even a different outfit. Here are the images for these 4 Dash Pack cards that we have. We've got Kefla for red, Piccolo Jr. for green, an Ultra Instinct Goku for yellow, and another Bardock Xeno. So hopefully we'll have plenty of good Xeno Bardock targets for that Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, and I guarantee you we'll see a lot more Mass Saiyan leaders, maybe even the Xeno Trunks and the Mira. I'll definitely be happy to run one of those. For yellow, we have Ultimate Form Son Goku. He's a 5 cost with a specified energy of 3. Desperate Onslaught Bardock. He's a 4 cost. Desperate Odds Kefla. She's a 4 cost with a specified energy of 2. And then Piccolo Jr. Driven to Fight. He's a green 2 cost with a specified energy of 1. I knew we'd be getting more Piccolo Jr. cards. The King Piccolo cards that we got just gave it away. It'd be really cool to see what all of these do, and hopefully their abilities are actually good. Here we have an image of the Set 4 Special Edition with the ugly-ass Demigra on it. Then here's a better image of the promo itself. Dimension Control Demigra. He's a 4 cost, so probably about 20,000 power. The Vegeta that we got in the Special Set 1 really wasn't worth shit. The Zamasu that we got in the Special Set 2 was pretty good. And what was in Set 3? I can't even honestly remember what the special rare card was in Set 3. Oh, it was the Mass Saiyan, the Awakening one. Now we've got the cards in the Tournament Pack 4. The first one I see is the 3-cost Burst Attack Son Gohan. Gonna be really cool to see more Gohan support. Not really sure why they made him red. It'll probably make a little bit more sense once we see what his ability is. We've got Merciful Minotia. He's a blue 2-cost. I believe that was Tapion's younger brother, who part of the Hirudegan was trapped in. We have King Piccolo, Demon Lord. That's going to be Piccolo when he's old and wrinkly and sitting on his throne, and he's like 20 times as tall as Pilaf. He's going to be a 3-cost. Then we have Ribrianne, Transformation Complete. She's going to be a 7-cost. I'm irritated that she got another card, and it's going to be a fucking promo with the dope-ass foiling. That sucks. We've got Source of Power Son Goku. This is actually Goku using the Kaioken. So probably going to be anywhere around, like, maybe the Saiyan Saga, something around that timeline, I would imagine. We've got Infinite Alertness Dispo. He's going to be a 4-drop. Dark Temptation Toa. She's going to be a 3-cost. And then Supreme Kai of Time Light's Guide. She's also going to be a 3-cost. Now, it's kind of weird to see that green got 2, yellow got 2, black got 2, and then only 1 red and 1 blue. I wonder why they did it that way. Maybe those 2 cards are just better than the rest. Here we've got the next BCC card, Scrambling Assault Son Goten. He's a 2-cost yellow with 10,000 power. And when this card attacks, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 among them, and add it to your hand, and any remaining cards go to the bottom of your deck in any order. That's crazy. He literally lets you get a card from the top of your deck. No specified cost, no trait restriction, nothing. He just lets you get a free card just for attacking. And the fact that he's a yellow Saiyan, he's going to go well in the Goku lineage stuff. He'll go well in probably any yellow deck, to be honest. He'll also go well in Great Apes if you find the room to run him. For a 2-cost, he's not expensive at all, so you can find a lot of space to put him in pretty easily. Lastly, I want to talk about this card, and I know it's probably going to take a few minutes to get all my points across, so bear with me here. It's Time Control Chronoa. I guess that's the name of the Supreme Kai of Time. Not sure. I didn't really get very far in the first Xenoverse and never played the second. She's a 1-cost, 3,000 power, no color specification, because she's a black card. She doesn't care. You can put her in every deck with no hassle. She has the ability to Deflect, which said this card isn't affected by counterplay skills. So you can't Cold Bloodlust it, you can't even Crusher Ball it, which is really not much of an issue here at all. Because when the auto activates, you draw 1 card, and your opponent may not play battle cards from their hand with the skills of cards with Super Combo for the duration of the game. This card is a 1-card fuck you to Shugesh. That's literally all it was made for. Shugesh wasn't really doing a super whole lot until people started abusing it with veggies. Yes, it was doing a good bit with the great apes, but it wasn't near as busted, because the only thing you really would get out would be Explosive Spirit Son Goku, which we're sure that that was kind of the idea with that combo, and then the 3-drop King Vegeta. But then you had people throwing veggies at it and running it with Mecha Frieza and now Ginyu, and they Shugesh out a Kaba, which gets a Khalifa, which gets a Kale, which does this and that, and it's so much crap. And I understand Shugesh was an overpowered card, but to make a card that outright just kind of kills it is so dumb, especially considering if you run 4 of these, say you main deck 4 of them, there's no reason not to main deck it, because 1, you can play it for any color, so you can run it at 4 in every deck, no problem, no worrying about ratios, no none of that shit, and then you draw a card when you play her. So she replaces herself, so you get a free +1, you can combo her away anytime, and there's literally no downside to playing this card. Whereas if you're playing yellow and say you're playing Shugesh, once this card hits the field, which is probably going to hit turn 1, especially if they see you're playing a yellow leader, they'll probably mulligan off their whole hand until they draw this one card, just so they can play it turn 1 and immediately shut down your super combos. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree Shugesh was overpowered. He should have had more restrictions on what he could do, such as only playing yellow Saiyans, only using him with a yellow Saiyan leader, instead of just allowing him to be so ridiculously blanket with his ability. I mean, hell, the Android 16 super combo specifically says you have to have a green Android leader, which right now is 2. Just to get his effect, and all he does is make your opponent discard a card. That's nowhere near as busted, but it's like 3 times as strict. So, I don't feel like they should have gone this route. I think that Shugesh should have probably just had an errata, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, we didn't need an errata. Mecha Frieza had an errata. Mecha Frieza is still playable, still seeing play. Sure, it's not the best deck out there, but it can still do what you want it to for the most part. Or, people are still going to be running Ginyu. Just because they can't Shugesh anymore doesn't mean they won't run Ginyu, because Ginyu still self-awakens, still generates card advantage, and allows you to play Cold Bloodlust, which people seem like they just cannot play without that card at all. Honestly, Cold Bloodlust is just as annoying and a pain in the ass as Shugesh was, in my opinion. And that's coming from someone who, probably my second favorite deck to play is Great Apes. And dropping Shugesh to, drop your Gokus or your Vegetas or whatever. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a deal if you could side deck super combos, which honestly I don't see why you can't, since they're not the same card, and a simple deck check could determine whether or not you were cheating with more than 4 super combos. So there's really no way for that to really hinder the opponent, other than the fact that, oh, you can just swap them out, which is no different than side decking any other fucking card in the game, shy of like side decking a different leader. So I think that's kind of dumb, and they should they should have allowed us that route to begin with. Now, initially I was irritated because I thought, okay, this is going to force me to play Dodoria, so I can get that, at least get the draw, because with Shugesh, you can still get the 10,000 power, but I may as well be getting the draw. But I didn't want to run Dodoria because he's not a Saiyan, so I can't search him with Planet Vegeta. Yes, I know, oh, you shouldn't be able to search your super combo so easily, but at the same time, androids can do it. You can do it with Kibito Kai, you can do it with Vados, you can do it with Piccolo, you can do it with all of the super combos. They all have cards that can search them. Not look at top 7, literally search them out of your entire deck. So it really irritated me at first thinking about it, but then I realized, well, even though the Pan super combo that comes in set 4 has the swap ability, it is still a Saiyan super combo, and it does get you that +1 draw. So you could go that route if you were worried about this card hitting your Shugesh too much. You could do 2 and 2 in case they didn't have it, and that way you could kind of play some mind games with them, especially if you didn't play it game 1 and all you played was the Pans. Maybe they wouldn't be worried about it, and you're like, okay, maybe he's not running Shugesh, I won't side these in, and then turn 2 or game 2, you drop Shugesh anyways and completely catch them off guard. that would be some really interesting strategic shit. Just like being able to side deck them. But Bandai, for whatever reason, doesn't allow you to do things, even though the game physically says you can't run more than 4 of them in a deck. Whatever. Also, if you didn't want to run Pan and you got a chance to get any of them, you could also run the Goku super combo for yellow that you get from Origins, I believe, is the event you have to go to. Or if you order them offline, I don't know how much money they're going to cost for those. But, so there are options. And so I'm not as irritated because I can still have a Saiyan super combo. It's just irritating that this is the way they went about it. Now, if it had said, while this card is on the field, fine and dandy. Even if you gave it barrier, fine and dandy. Just something that you could do to get around it. Because going, especially if your opponent goes first and they play this, and then, oh, all your super combos are dead. And you had no way to get around it. You can't even cold bloodlust it because it has fucking counterplay. Like, there's just no way to... There's no way to get around that. And it's really freaking irritating that they took this route to deal with Shugesh. Alright. Rant's over for that. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in on it. I also... One last thing I want to say. I don't feel like there was no reason for them not to errata Shugesh, since they went ahead and errated Mecha Frieza, and I feel like that would be just as big of an errata to change that many things just for 1 card ability. So one last thing I want to add, we'll be getting these, basically they're box topper cards. Pokemon used to do them at some point. I don't think they do them anymore. But basically, the cards are twice the size of a regular card. They come in the top of a box, and it looks like we're going to be getting one of those for all of the leaders, which would be really dope. I'd love to get one for the Bardock leader. I don't know if they'll come foil or not, which really kind of would suck if they didn't, because I'd want to play the foil one, but I'd also want to play the big one just because I could. And in fact, these are going to be tournament legal. They specifically said that themselves. So if you want to slap down that super oversized monkey that's right there in front of you, go ahead and do it. I mean, I'm going to be doing the same thing, except my monkey will be Bardock instead of fucking Baby, because Baby was creepy. He was kind of like a weird android Majin Buu hybrid created by a ripoff of Dr. Gero, and he was just kind of creepy. Anyways, that's going to be it for all of these spoilers. If you guys stuck around with me this long, I want to thank each and every one of you for all of your views, all your support, the likes, the comments especially. You guys have really been uplifting my spirits. It's awesome to hear that you guys like my channel enough to say that you prefer me over the bigger channels. That really means a lot, especially because lately I've kind of felt pressured that my content isn't as good, or that it's being ignored because I'm not one of like, oh, I'm not that guy, so my videos just kind of get overlooked, which is probably still the case, but the fact that you guys have just told me how much you appreciate my content more than the others really means a lot to me. Hit that like button down below for us to show us your support. We are finally over 600 subscribers. Took us a little longer than I thought. The growth did decline here and there. I know we stopped doing some Dragon Ball content for a brief moment. I had some things going on in the outside world that I had to take care of, but hopefully Dragon Ball content will be back full force. We're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here, though, because I've been talking all day between this video, between work, and between the first video that I started working on at 5 in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.